Hi everyone and welcome to my live. I'm Laura Burns and I'm going to be sharing with you today the sweet ice cream set. I thought I love this set. It's such a pretty one and I didn't want to stop using it because it's such a cool set. So I thought I'd show you where it is in the catalogues. So the first one is, so in the new catalogue, which of course is why we're all here today, that is on page 32. So that's the stamps that we're using, and then the punch is on page 149, just here. And then, but the main reason I'm using it is because there's still some really cool stuff available in the mini catalogue. Oops, there's an extra bit there for us. So in the mini catalogue, you actually still have access to the papers, which I'll be using today, and you can still get it as a bundle. So even though it's moved into the new catalogue, it is still available as the bundle until the end of June, which is so great because it's you can get the 10% off when you grab it in the bundle. So the bundle is the stamp set and the punch that we'll be using today as well, which is this one here. So I thought I'd quickly show you the papers that you have available. Now these ones are going to be finishing at the end of June, so they're not in the new catalogue, and so it's definitely worth grabbing them if you love them, which I do, and they are just so versatile. It's brilliant. So I thought I'd show you. So we've got the ice cream on the one side. So there's 3 lots with the ice creams. Oh, I should have put them all together. And you've got all the different types of ice cream, which is so cool. And you can cut these out, which I'll show you in a on a card later, which is really cool. And then we've got kind of like a watercolor effect. And there's 3 different colours in those. So there's that one, and then the green. This is such a great one for boys' cards. You know, because we're always looking for ideas for males. And then the pinks and yellows. And they're so nice and bright and vibrant. And then on the other side are all the patterns. And so we've got some swirlies, we've got some sprinkles. You cannot go wrong with sprinkles, I don't think. Some green dots. And I love the multicoloured stripes. And then we have just some purple stripes. And then of course we've got the waffle. So it makes it look like a waffle cone, and I'm using that today on the bottom of our cone, on the cone on our thing. So I'm going to get those out the road, and then we'll get started with the card. So this is the card that we're making today. So it's such a sweet little card, and of course I can't go past the sprinkles and the stripes. They would have to be my favourites of the whole set. So every chance I get to use stripes and sprinkles, I go for it. So we'll get started and I'll show you what I've done. So there's only some really basic stamping on this one today, but I do want to just show you a little bit of a trick with how to get all of the papers and stuff lined up to make your life a little bit easier. So I have pre-cut. So today I've also decided to spice it up a bit, and I've used a pistachio on the back of this one, but I'm going to change it up and I'm going to use the So Saffron on the next card that we're doing. And the So Saffron is basically half a piece of our A4 cardstock. I actually cut it slightly smaller, so it's 14.5 by 21 centimeters. And then of course the first thing we have to do is fold it in half. And I just line it up. And then I just run from one side to the other, and then I grab our bone folder and make it a nice flat seam. And then we're just going to pop that to the side. And then the next piece we're going to use is just a piece of Whisper White, and I've cut that one at 10 centimeters by 14. So it's literally just, I'll show you, just slightly smaller than the original card base. So you just want that nice little border around the edge of the yellow. And then the next pieces we're going to use is part of the designer series paper. Now, I've pre-cut these, so there's one piece that is 8 by 10 centimeters, and so that's going to be our middle piece. And then the other two pieces are 3 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and we're going to have one at the top and one at the bottom of those. Now, I am a massive fan, especially in this situation. Oops, I just moved everything, sorry. I'm just going to reline that again. I'm a massive fan of the Tombow glue, which is our multi-purpose glue, because it just gives you that little bit of wiggle room when you're trying to get stuff straight. And I think I need to move up a tiny bit. And so we just pop this and get the glue to go down to the end. This is a fairly new one, so I've had it lying on its side. It's always a good idea to have them upside down, ready to use when you need them. But when they're really new, they come out really quick. So, okay. So what I've done is with the white piece of paper, we're just basically going to cover it. But it just means that I don't have to try and figure out how to get it straight on the actual card. So it's really just like a base. And then I'm going to pick that up, flip it over, and make sure I've got it right on the edges, which is looking pretty good. So you just want to go right to the very edges to make sure that it's straight. You can see that there. And then we're going to pop it down, because that first one is going to basically make sure the other two are straight as well, because it's so much easier once you get that first one on. And so then, and of course, like, you can use any combination, like you don't have to use the sprinkles, you can go with whatever you feel like at the time. And, you know, just change it up, like you could do the green spots with the sprinkles. Like, there's just so much variety with this kind of set. And so now I'm going to do the same with the glue on the back of this one. So I just go around the edge and then I just basically wiggle through the middle. And the reason I'm putting the lid straight back on is because it is a fairly new one, so I don't want all the glue to ooze out. Okay, and then we're just going to line this one up. Oh, I got the shakes. And again, I'm just going to flip it over and see that I have got it pretty much perfect. Can't help it, I'm a perfectionist. And then last but not least, we're going to do our last little piece. And of course you could also change this up and do like the stripes along the sides and then a panel through the middle. Such a versatile little card. I should have done one of those to show you, but anyway. And it's also up to you whether or not you want to do them the same at the top and the bottom, or if you want to flip it, but I am going to go the same direction for both. And again, I'm just going to make sure that I've got it even remotely straight. Now I've noticed that there's a little bit of an edge along the bottom, but it is, I did actually cut it all the same size, so I'm not sure how I've managed that. But you won't see it once we've actually got it all set down. Alright, so we're going to set that aside to, oh no, we're going to add one more piece to it. So then I've also cut like just a little strip, so we're just going to cover the little seam there where the two papers meet. And we're going to do that with just a tiny strip of the new Fresh Freesia. Now that colour isn't in this paper, but it was so close because it was the Purple Posy that's just retired. It's such a close colour that I thought I could definitely get away with it. And I had to get a little bit of the new in colours in here somewhere. So again, I'm just going to put the tiniest bit of glue, or not because it doesn't want to come out, on this piece. You don't want too much on this one because otherwise it will ooze out. And then just trying to get it on there without getting glue all over yourself is always fun. Okay, so I'm going to, I always use my grid paper to line stuff up to make sure I get stuff straight. It is one of the best inventions when it comes to my perfectionist tendencies. The other one is the Stamparatus, but I'm not using that today. Okay, so now we've got that ready. So we're going to move on to doing the ice cream now. And so, as I said to you before, we're just going to do some really basic stamping today. So the three stamps that we're using are the top of the ice cream, the sprinkles, and I've just got some words. So of course you could choose any words that you wanted to with this one. So the first one, the base of the ice cream, I'm going to go with Pool Party. Now this is one of our old pads. I haven't updated all of mine to the newer ones yet. So just pretend it's a new one. But you have to put a bit more effort into getting the ink on this one because it is starting to get a little drier. Okay, and so we're just going to, making sure you guys can see that good. Yep. And so we're just basic colour, just one stamp down. Now the other really cool thing, which I'll just stamp another one so you can see, that you can do as well, which is so awesome, is you could actually do two different colours. And to do that, you could just grab your marker, no, wrong end, and run it along the edge. That off. Give it a little breath, and then we're going to stamp it. It's such a cute way to just get an extra little bit of colour in there. And then of course we clean it. I always clean my stamp straight away. Oh, I'm going to flip that over so it's a cleaner side. And we clean it straight away and we just wipe it straight onto our chamois. Oh, did you hear that squeak? It's cool. And that just cleans the stamps off so simply and so quickly. I'll have that out ready for the next one. So then we're going to pop that away. I always close my stamp pads straight away for a couple of reasons. One, it stops them from drying out. And two, it also means you don't get it all over you. So, which is handy. So we're going to pop back to the plain blue one for this one. And I'm going to just see how much quicker it is to get plenty of ink with the new ink pads. And then I'm going to just pop some sprinkles on our ice cream top. And again, really quick wash. And it'll get marked. If you see on the other side of mine, you can see it's well used, but I thought I'd make it a little bit nicer for you guys today. Okay, and then we are going to pop that away. And then we grab our punch for the first time. So this is our punches. So it's got the ice cream top and bottom. And they do lock, so you actually have to unlock them to be able to use it. And lots of people use them the other way around, but I always use them upside down so that I can line it up perfectly for when I want to punch it out. And so you can see there, if I can get it straight. Holding it in place so I can show you guys. So that's just before I punch it out, and then we just do a real quick, oh, I just locked it again, bear with me. And then we put that to the side. And so then we have our little ice cream topper done. So next we're going to grab out the embellishment side of it. So this is how I'm going to make our little decal here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already cut out, I've used the dies for this, and I've also used a die for this one. So I've used the layering circles and the stitch rectangle dies. So we've got the layering circles that I've done a Petal Pink and a Whisper White, and then I have done the little rectangle out of a Whisper White. And then of course I've also punched out the base of the cone of the ice cream with the punch that I just used. So I'm going to pop that over there, move that to the side. Now the other thing when punching out the bottom of the ice cream, sometimes with our designer series papers you can see here, oops, let me get it in frame, sorry. Sometimes they're a little bit rough when they're quite new, and you can see here that because our papers are printed, it has a white center, so you can see a little bit of the white there. So all I did is just grabbed my marker of the same color, and I've just gone along the edge and on the bottom bit there just to hide it, and it just means that when you look at the side it doesn't have that white edging in it anymore. It's just another little tip. So all we're going to do now is layer up these items. So first we're going to pop the top. First thing I'm going to do is grab in our trusty little silicone mat, and all this does is it just stops glue from getting everywhere. It's such a great idea. I'm going to use it again in a minute. So we are going to add our glue along the base there. Oops, I probably just put way too much. What's me? And then I'm going to line up our little cone. I did put way too much glue on, but that's okay. Let me flip it over, and that's done. And I can actually put it on to there like that, and then we're going to glue this base on. Like so. Again, it gives you that tiny bit of wiggle room to make sure you get it centered. And then while those two are drying for a second, I am going to come back to our card base, and we're going to add a couple more things. So we're going to add a little piece of ribbon. So this is the, where is it? Crinkled seam binding ribbon in the Whisper White. And so to do that, I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to add, oh, this is the bit that I need. I'm going to add a tiny bit of our, now I'm still on the old tape runners, but we have these really great new ones. I just haven't got any yet because I still need to use up all my old stuff. But I've heard amazing things about it. And so what I'm just doing is checking where exactly the line is here so that I've put the tape runner in the right spot, because then I'm going to flip it back over and line it up on the front, and then just pop it around the corner. Now this is a little bit see-through, this ribbon, so it doesn't really hide that line very well, but it's enough once I put the other two bits on. So I'm going to set that back over there while they're still drying. So our next step is to do our little saying. And today I've chosen Treat Yourself, and I've picked the Blackberry Bliss stamp pad. So I've already pre-cut this out, I said to you already, with the rectangle dies. It's the smallest square one that I've used. And I'm going to, you guys can see that. Oh, it's better if I line it up with straight lines. I'm just going to stamp that down pretty much in the center, hopefully. I'm going to pull that off. And again, I'm going to just clean that stamp really quickly. So with this one though, it don't be worried that it will actually stain the stamp a little bit, but the stamp is still totally fine. It's just because it's a really strong pigment on that. So then the next thing we're going to do is add in our, oh no, close that first. And put it aside. So we're going to add our little words. I decided just to glue this down. You could quite easily just lift it up, but I wanted to lift up the circle with the ice cream on it. Oh, no, I'm sticking that on there. So the reason I'm keeping this on the mat is because the adhesive on the back is still showing. So I just decided to put those down the bottom to one side. And then we're going to grab our, now the glue's still drying on that, but that's totally fine because we're actually going to put a bit of dimensional on it. So these are our Stampin' Dimensionals. So they're just a foam dimensional that will lift it up a little bit off of the page. And then I'm going to grab my scissors, bear with me with my paper snips. And I want just a little piece from the side, this one here. So the best thing about these is you can use every bit including the edges. So I just want that tiny little bit there to go down the bottom of the cone. And then to get the backing up, if you just stick your thumb in the middle, it lifts it up a little bit. And you can just peel them off nice and easy. Oops. And these little papers get everywhere, so I always put them straight in my little bin that I have on my desk. Like so. Okay, then we're going to bring our circle back in, and we're going to just pop our ice cream on there. Like so. Now, the next thing we need to do is add some more dimensionals to this one. Oh, my computer's just turned off so I can't see how I'm going. Okay, so we're just going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this one as well. Oops. Accidentally just took the backing off of that one. And then I also add one in the middle. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is actually add this to our card base before we start building it up. And again, I'm just going to use the glue on this one, around the edges. Oop, that's a bit thick there, so I'm going to spread that out and then wiggle it through the middle. Going to move our card base in. Oh, I held that the wrong way. I always like to open it up because I find it easier on a flat surface. And then set it down and wiggle it into place. Oops. And then I always flip it over and I just run my bone folder over the back just to make sure that the glue's stuck everywhere. So I'm going to close that again. So now we're down to the fun bits. Let's get that out of the road. Just putting everything together. So again, I'm just sticking my thumb in the middle of these just to lift them up a tiny bit. Moving my little jar closer so I can put them straight in there. And then I'm just going to pop this and I've just made it so that it just touches that top corner. And then the last thing we need is just to add a little bow. So I have pre-tied my bow like so, and I've stuck it on a glue dot. Now the glue dot I actually folded so that it is a tiny little square. So they start off a bit round, I'm not sure if you can see that, and then I've folded it so that it fits behind my bow, and then I'm just going to pick it up with my scissors. And so this is just a cheats bow, so that you don't have to try and tie a bow in the ribbon that you've already put on. And I'm just going to sit it there like that. And so that's the end of my card. We're all finished. So what I'm going to show you now is I made a couple of other ones. So I'll bring in the one that is the same. So they're the two little cards that I've made for you today. Nice and simple, not too hard with the stamping. I thought I'd keep it a bit simple and really showcase how pretty the papers are, because as I said, as much as we're showing the annual catalogue today, this is such a great one to not miss out on in the mini catalogue. And then I also made a couple of other little ones to show you. So I've made a little note card here, and I've actually cut the ice creams out, and I've stuck one on the little envelope, so that's super sweet for a little gift card. And then this one, I just used the punch to do all of it, other than stamping the sentiment there. And this one you could almost, if you wanted to change up the colours a little bit, you could make it a little bit for a boy. And then the last one, which is super sweet, again I decided to cut the ice creams out. Gives you a nice bit of variety. And this is a sweet little note card which comes with our envelopes, and so they come as a pack. And that's pretty much it for me for today. So don't forget that we have free shipping on orders today over $70, but it must be placed with your demonstrator on here. If you don't have a demonstrator yet, any of the girls will be happy to help you, and especially as we are always happy to have new customers that are excited to try our stuff. And then up next we have Fiona. I hope you all had a great day and you enjoyed what I had to show you today. Bye.